English translation. 380th contact. Thursday, 24th February 2005, 16:24 hours.
Salome, Edward, my friend. I am already here.
Be greeted, my son. You are early again today.
Time is pressing me today, which is why I am coming here already. Here, I still have some work that we would like you to do for us. These are all questions, as you can see, and we would like to have them answered by next week if that should be possible for you.
Man, that is quite a number. How many questions are there?
Quite a few, I know. There are 416 questions, for which we would be very happy if you could answer them. It is unfortunately a bit on short notice.
Yes, it is, but I will see that I can get everything done. Are they all just questions related to the higher spiritual teaching, or are there other questions in them? Here I see only just such questions.
No, it is not only about the spiritual teaching. There are also a whole series of questions relating to psychological matters. You have a very good knowledge in this area as well. We think that your and our knowledge and experience in this area can complement each other.
Why this tremendous honor?
You have a very great knowledge in this respect through the memory bank records of both Nocademians, the 4 Hanochs and the 3 Enochs, whereby even these records are unknown to us and cannot be retrieved by us. If we were earthly psychologists, we would certainly envy you for your enormous knowledge of psychology.
I am sure this is too much of an honor, dear friend. Well, I will do my best.
I thank you for this, also in the name of our spiritual leadership.
I am not a megalomaniac, but certain jealousies and antagonistic ones might try to blame me for megalomania if they read our conversation.
With your modesty? These must be really dumb elements.
You are getting better at our good language. But let us leave that alone, because if you allow me, I would like to ask you a few questions.
Of course, I just ask.
We received the old Playaran alphabet a long time ago, but the new Playaran characters are unknown to us. Although I have seen them on various occasions in your giant spaceship, that is to say, in your spaceship and in the beam ships, I do not understand them. Could you please dictate me the new Playaran alphabet, which has completely different characters than the old Playaran alphabet?
That is right. About 4,000 years ago, 4,012 years ago to be exact, the old alphabet was replaced by a new one, which is different from the old one. Of course I can give you the characters. If you want to copy them, you can read them here on this little device. It might help you if you first write down the German alphabet and then write the characters of our current alphabet above or below it. The letters C and Q as well as V are included in our new alphabet, and it is the same as yours, and you have to write the umlauts A, O, U, and CH, SCH, ST, TSCH, and CK separately.
Good. Wait. I will write the alphabet in the computer, then I have a good template. Well, that is done. Then I make 2 more printouts. Then I can write now, if you explain the characters to me.
Then listen. But you have forgotten the TSCH and CK here.
Then I will write that in by hand. So, that is done as well, so we can start. Now if you can show me and explain the individual letters. So that would be it. Thank you. Then I have here this interesting internet message concerning the magma lake under the Italian volcano Vesuvius. At the 230th official contact conversation with Quetzal on the 11th of October 1989 at 4:01 HRs, we talked about it. If I may quote, "Then to volcano Vesuvius. The British bombed the volcano crater during World War II to inflict damage on Hitler's army by erupting a volcano. There was an eruption that you said was minor, but still caused considerable damage.
It was actually only a small eruption, but it still produced a large lava flow which caused considerable damage. It also destroyed large parts of the city of San Sebastian. Fortunately, nothing more happened.
The last really big eruption, as far as I know, was in 1631. An eruption about the same size as when Pompeii was destroyed by an eruption of Vesuvius and buried under volcanic ash, killing many people, took place about 2,000 years before the Christian era. As you said then. The place or area where everything was destroyed, what was it called? Nola or something? But people, you said, should not have been greatly damaged, if I remember correctly. And then when was the British bombing that caused the volcano to erupt? Also, I remember you said that the volcanic eruptions generally produce more photosynthesis, which neutralizes carbon dioxide in the air. Can you say anything more?
Nola, that is of correctness. That was the name. However, few people were killed or injured in this incident. In March 1944. Since then, the volcano's vent has been sealed by a huge lava cinder plug. This plug will, however, become even stronger and denser in the year 2000, because then an earthquake will occur in the Vesuvius region, which will cause the strengthening and densification, as we know from a look into the future. This will prevent the volcano from erupting for the time being, but the prevention will only last as long as the slag plug can withstand the pressure from below, which is caused by the large magma mass of 523 square kilometers, which reaches 8-10 kilometers deep and even deeper under the city of Rome. However, if larger masses of water or gas enter the magma sea, which are stored underground, a tremendous explosion is immediately created, whose enormous pressure partially liquefies the plug and ejects the rest out of the vent, causing the volcano to erupt, which also has deep connections with the Stromboli and Etna volcanoes. Vesuvius is constantly in motion and inwardly active, and is also very unpredictable and therefore dangerous. So this is what Quetzal and I were talking about back then. And now to the point. Now a message appears on the internet, according to which scientists have now discovered the huge magma lake under Vesuvius. Although they have not yet recognized the real full size of the magma lake, they have recognized 4/5 of the real total size, which is a great achievement. Surely in the future there will be further research, and then the whole truth will be found. So here are these internet messages. Interesting reports, even if the full truth has not yet been recognized, regarding the total extent of the sea of magma, and that this extends in a spur to below the capital Rome.
What is not yet may yet be. The Earth twits are working with somewhat imprecise and primitive means. You just have to forgive them for that. But something else. Last night, Christian Frainer was here for meditation, after which we did his email correspondence together as usual. There was a letter complaining that I call all those elements who make terror, wage war, advocate the death penalty, murder and any otherwise, treat women like dirt or rape them, beat or sexually abuse children, or denigrate me and my work, slander me and try to stamp me into the ground, as lunatics and schizophrenics, etc. This apparently meets with resistance from certain people, because they are not able to understand the meaning of the words, and are not able to comprehend the meaning of the words, and they themselves cannot comprehend that all those human beings, who contravene in any wise against humanity, are really not normal, but are insane in their thoughts, feelings, and actions, as well as succumbing to forms of delusion, which is why they must therefore be described with a clear conscience as lunatics and schizophrenics. In fact, they lack rationality and understanding, and consequently also their normality. But this has nothing to do with those humans who are effectively lunatics and schizophrenics, in such a wise that, under these deformations of consciousness, they really must be called lunatics and schizophrenics. This is in contrast to those who are called mad and schizophrenic because, although they are normal in terms of their consciousness, they are subject to mad thoughts, feelings and actions, as well as delusions, which are consequently called schizophrenic, which, in this sense, means in educational language that there is a contradiction in themselves and a high degree of inconsistency and absurdity. This is the opposite of the actual illness schizophrenia, which is based on consciousness-based thought disorders, hallucinations, and delusions with an accompanying severe psychosis. So, in terms of my manner of expressing it, the insanity in schizophrenia refers to the absurdity, the inconsistency. It also includes the schizophrenic character, which means that the opinion of schizophrenia in the relationship as I use it is probably correct and is not an insult to those who are really schizophrenic, who are in any case excluded from my denunciations.
You are not accountable, dear friend Edward, because your words correspond exactly to what is true. The person who attacks you as a result of your denunciations is not aware of the various concepts of schizophrenia in the absence of sufficient general knowledge. Perhaps there may also be a know-it-all behind this. Some misconceptions or even a false religious train of thought, which obscure a clear view of the person complained of if he or she is unable to understand the various forms of schizophrenia. In response, you should forward our conversation on this subject to the person concerned. And if they do not understand what we are saying, then I cannot help either. To publish our conversation in a bulletin would probably be a good thing. 2, because there are certainly other people who do not understand the meaning of the different word usage in relation to schizophrenia.
I guess that would be the end of the road.
Yes, it can be said like that too. But now, Edward, we should turn to these things here, which besides the questions still arise and which I have to discuss with you.
Quite a lot, my friend.
We just want to discuss it today. You can work it out for us later. There is no hurry.
I am glad, because I should be able to work on my new book about fluidal forces a few pages further. I have not gotten around to that for a long time.
This is certainly annoying for you, but on the other hand, you have already done a lot more work on it than originally planned. Besides, the work is also important for us.
Of course. I also do not want to complain and make any accusations either.
I also did not assume that. My words were only a statement.
Okay, let us get down to business here.
Let us do that. But before I forget, I am supposed to give you and all the members of the group greetings from my daughters Simyase and Pleja, which they told me to deliver.
Thank you. Also on behalf of all group members. We all send them greetings as well. So now to these things here.